Hello. So if you are here in person, go ahead
Hola
and make
Ale,
your
¿cómo
way
estáis
into the
todos?
Gampa and get seated. Geshe Gelik should be arriving momentarily. And if you're online, we'll be starting in just a few more minutes once Geshe arrives. It's good to see all y'all. And for folks on Zoom, Geshe Gelik does have a view of the Zoom screen. So if you're able to keep your camera on throughout the teaching, that's wonderful. I understand if you can't due to connectivity issues or anything else, but if you're able to, we encourage you to keep camera on, if possible. And to that point also, we do also encourage you to act as though you're sitting right in front of Geshe and avoid eating and drinking and things like that once he starts teaching. Hi, Karen. If you're wearing your pajamas, it's probably okay as long as they're, appropriate. No negligees. There we go. So while we're waiting on Geshe Gelik to arrive, I did want to let everyone know that Venerable Amy Miller, will be coming in February. So she'll be here for a weekend workshop, and that will be from Friday, February 21st through the 23rd, and she'll be teaching our Sunday morning Dharma as well during that time. So please check that out online, and you can read all about the title of the retreat. It's a long title. It's something like Self-Compassion, Mindfulness, and Meditation Techniques for Living in a Challenging World. And so, what's that? No, Friday from 7 to 9, and then 2 sessions on Saturday with a lunch break in between. And then she'll do Sunday morning Dharma, followed by the last session on Sunday afternoon. Yeah. So please check that out. And then also, you may have seen online as well, we're going to hold our very first retreat here since we have a nice new kitchen that cooks can come in and feed retreatants. So that's going to be a White Tara retreat, and that will be, give me the dates, March 7th is when it begins through the 16th. Okay, so all of this is online, so please check out everything online. I encourage you to visit the website regularly. My favorite spot is up in the right-hand corner. That's the calendar, and the homepage also has lots of information, too. Geshe Gelik has arrived. He's circumambulating, but we'll go ahead and get ready for his arrival.
Okay, if you're in the Kadampa, please turn to page 34 in the Gold Prayer Book, and we will chant the Shakyamuni Buddha mantra 3 times. Tayata Om Mune Mune Maha Munaye Soha. Tayata Om Mune Mune Maha Munaye Soha. Tayata Om Mune Mune Maha Munaye Soha. Now on the same page, the Medicine Buddha stanza and mantra. Bhagawan, with equal compassion for all, whose name when merely heard dispels the suffering of the lower realms, dispeller of disease and the 3 poisons, I prostrate to Medicine Buddha lapis light. Tayata Om Bekkanse Bekkanse Maha Bekkanse Bekkanse Raja Samudgate Soha. Tayata Om Bekkanse Bekkanse Maha Bekkanse Bekkanse Samudgate Soha. Tayata Om Bekkanse Bekkanse Maha Bekkanse Bekkanse Raja Samudgate Soha. Teata Om Bekanse Bekanse Maha Bekanse Raja Samudgate Soha Teata Om Bekanse Maha Bekanse Raja Samudgate Soha Teata Om Bekanse Maha Bekanse Samudgate Soha Teata Om Bekanse Maha Bekanse Raja Samudgate Soha. And now we'll say the four measurables 2 times in English, and then on page 37 we can chant it in Tibetan. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends and hatred for enemies. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends and hatred for enemies. And now in Tibetan on the bottom of page 37. Sem chen tong che de wa dong de we gyu dong den pa gyu che du And now, remaining on page 37, the Chenrezig verse of praise and mantra. Not veiled by any fault, white in color, whose head a perfect Buddha crowns in light, gazing compassionately at all beings, to you, Chenrezig, all-seeing one, I prostrate. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. And the Green Tara verse of praise and mantra. Tare liberates from psychic existence. Tutare liberates from the 8 fears. Ture liberates from all sickness. I prostrate to the liberator, Mother Tara. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. 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 Om Tare Tu Re So Ha. Om Tare Tu Re So Ha. Om Tare Tu Re So Ha. And now, once again, on page 34, Geshe Gelik will lead us in the refuge and bodhicitta prayer.
Just say Jinsu, don't say Chunyin, say Jinsu, okay. So
Jinsu,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, we just do it together. Don't say Jinsu, like generous and so on and so forth. Instead of saying Chunyin, Chunyin. Yeah, don't say today, don't say Chunyin, say Jinsu, we do together. Don't repeating after me, just do together. So, so all you are married, okay, so just visualize in front here, space before you, something like that, so you see this big tanga there, Shakyamuni Buddha tanga. Please focus that you have potentials, what we call Buddha nature. We all possess. After the refuge prayer, so this is more like practice here. So usually, traditionally, before the class, you are supposed to say this 3 times for the sake of knowledge, to set up your intention for the class. That's what it's for. Today, you are not repeating after me, so we are doing it together. It's more like form of practice than, like. So here, I think that lack of faith in your potentials, not having not believing that you possess something, that very object that you are taking refuge now, so then believing that you yourself will become like that in the future. So that's the kind of mindset that we all should have when we do this refuge and bodhicitta prayer. Then so then the replica of that Buddha that you're visualizing, emit replica, emit from that, dissolve into your body, till you become like that. So of course we are having a hard time because we don't believe in ourselves. So that needs to, sooner or later, needs to minimize or to get rid of. So Dunja Lama to be omole rangda che this, timbe rangda che this, rangda replica. Che means emit. Rangda che this, timbe, tim means dissolve. Dani timbe, where? To yourself. Dani, yourself, tuwaku jur, become Buddha. Then from there, light emit from your body. This all, at the moment, this all like mentally constructing, mentally generating, or like imagining, or mentally constructing. Then after they become Buddha, dissolve, replica, emit, dissolve, become Buddha. So then from your body, light emit. So the moment it touch, help them all get enlightened. Enlightenment, best enlightenment refers to fully enlightenment. Light, after you become Buddha, light emit, then touch. So then basically enlighten them. So that's the kind of mindset or understanding is needed when you do when you do this practice. Then for the sake of knowledge, at the beginning of the class, why you said this, for the sake of knowledge, you to know. So that's like for setting up positive motivation for the class. Okay. So now this today we do as a practice. We chant, so then visualize. So there's like some extra also visualizations. After that, probably first visualize that image of Buddha. This is like for the sake of knowledge. This holding, you see the holding. You don't have to be Buddhist. You don't have to be Buddhist. I'm not trying to convert you into Buddhism. Don't get wrong. So here, what we're trying to do, we are trying to access and to understand that you possess Buddha nature. It's not all evil. As you think, there's something, there's like diamond under the ground. You can't see. You can't see, but it's there. You can see a diamond that's rub into dirty cloth. What do you see? Dirty cloth. What's inside the diamond? But you don't see. Your idea may be probably like this, like dirty cloth about yourself, but underneath, inside, there's diamond you don't see. Just like Buddha nature. Even the insect that you see, they also have chance. They also have chance. If they put some effort, of course, each human has definite chance. To become like, become Buddha means that all love, all compassionate, all love. First, purify the blessing from like Buddha's body, from the 5 point, here, navel, then there's 5 chakras. If you are familiar with the 5 chakras, just imagine the light emit white, red, blue, yellow, green, 5 light emit. Just imagine, just mentally construct, emit from Buddha's 5 chakras to your 5 chakras, dissolve, purify all the sicknesses, mental problems, difficulties, all the sicknesses, completely purify. If you're visualizing someone else, your close one, loved one, family member, enemies, relative, all of if you have been visualizing someone who is supposed to visualize all this life, father, all the male figure, mother, all the female figure, relative, in front, stranger, enemy, all of that. If you can visualize all of it, if you've been visualizing, that's how you do. So then the 5 light form of blessing emit, then dissolve into not just into your body and mind, also all the people they've been visualizing, dissolve into the completely purify their sicknesses, mental difficulties. So then after the replica emit, dissolve into your body, and of course then you yourself become enlightened. Then again light emit, so then the moment it touch, then all help them all enlighten. Okay, so that's how the practice has been done, rather than just saying. So the prayer you just say when you are thinking involved, so then it becomes practice. Okay, so then we chant this. and say Jinso, that Jinso, okay, chant, so then you can just meditate. Okay, what I just explained, okay? So now please visualize the replica emit the very Buddha you are visualizing, replica emit, dissolve into your body, you yourself become fully enlightened. Then the light emit from your body, the moment it touches, then all of them you help all of them to get enlightened. And most important, also think that when I said you yourself become enlightened, meaning that you become more compassionate, more kind, thinking about well-being of other living beings all the time. So that's the purpose of this practice. Okay, thank you very much. That's very good. So now maybe short introductions. Okay, so then after that, good morning, Venerable Tenzin Lama. Good morning, children. Thank you very much for translating. Good morning, Tara. Good morning, Nico. Good morning, Paul, Cameron. Good morning, Esther. Good morning, Alex. Already enlightened. Sandra, already enlightened. Good morning, Peter. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Susanna. Good morning, KDC, sir. Good morning, Renee. Good morning, Colin. Good morning, John. Good morning, David. Good morning, all the invisible being. If anybody watching on YouTube, good morning.
Okay, everyone, begin to wrap it up. Begin to wrap it up. Okay, everyone, go ahead and make your way back to your seats. Luckily, we have a potluck today. Okay, everyone, if you can wrap it up. And keep in mind, we do have a potluck today, so you can continue these conversations and hellos during the potluck. Everyone, go ahead and have a seat. Thanks, everyone online, for being patient.
Thank you very much. Wonderful. Oh, thank you. Maybe let us need to find out some way to introduce all the people on Zoom to each other. I'm not sure how to do that. If you want to, maybe they are like a bit. want to share something with you. One of my friend, he was, I think, mother was American, father was Canadian or British, I'm not sure, like the monk. So recently posted the video. So usually he don't make YouTube video. He says he's making one YouTube video. He said this could be last and fast. He's talking about depressions. So I know him. We are together in the monastery. I know him very well. So, and he is not Tibetan. He's pure Westerner, father. Yeah, of course that he's struggling. So then he's been talking to friends. He never talked to me about his depression, but he did mention to some of my friends who's teaching in Australia. So he mentioned that he's talked to him. Because what happened is like, in my case, I left my home when I was 7 years old. I deliberately left, not like my mom took and threw in the monastery. I left, not the intention to get enlightened, so to intention to have some fun. Maybe there's more fun. Maybe there's more fun in the monastery than, my hometown, remote, very remote, nothing happened. So the wrong intentions, end up in the monastery with the wrong intentions. He was probably dropped into the monastery, so their parents, maybe Dr. Brown, you maybe know, it's like called Michael. It's Michael. So his parents used to do some kind of business, carpet business back in Nepal in like hippies time, 60s, 50s. So then somehow about their travel, so then they decide probably when he was 6, like 1 year younger than me, probably dropped into the Koban monastery. Some of you know. Somehow he's like struggling, like deep-seated, like was rejected by his parents or something like that. It's kind of bothering him. So he's like, then one hand is struggling like, oh, I'm monk, so if I go to see therapy, what they're going to say? They maybe say, oh, your practice doesn't help you to overcome from depression. He's struggling, all kind of things. He posted this video only a week ago. And of course we know, so one of my friends, Kishi from Australia, sent it to me. I had to watch. It's like 35 minutes long. So right now he's in I think probably he don't mind because he posted the video online so everybody can see it. I don't think he minds sharing the what I saw. So then he was now, his mother's getting old, so now he's came back to California, take care of his mom, and he's still struggling, like he remembers when she left him in the monastery. Now she needs help. Then sometimes she says, how come you don't come a little bit earlier to take care of me? All kind of things. Then he went to see some Tibetan physicians in Nepal, maybe hoping to get help. And it sounds like what the Tibetan physician, I'm not sure how much they know about depressions, but you don't hear of course in Tibetan communities, you don't hear, I'm not sure about India, but Tibetan community, you don't hear, people are not very vocal about their feelings. Here, at least you are very honest, you just vocal, you want to express there's something bothering you. I think that's the good thing. That's, I think, the initial stage of healing. So he went to so he never took medications, and he did ask Lama Sopa Rinpoche about taking medication. The Rinpoche said probably not. Divination in our traditions, when there's hard time making decisions, then what you do, you go there, divination called there's 2 dice. Not the dice that we use, is different numbers. It has different numbers. So this instruction has already been written hundreds of years ago. You can't just make things up. So then you do, so this, am I boring you? Okay. Make sure. So like in the very beginning, this divination things, divination that if you can make decisions, then you ask someone to do divinations. So they use like dice, or you can use like this, or maybe some measure like this, then you can tell like there's like, or you can use some kind of like fabric, different color fabric, or you can use the rosaries. So then like that, so anyway, all of that, it requires some kind of retreat. So you look at the trees in the very beginning, eastern part of the trees, that tree should not be poisonous tree, should be medicinal. Then you cut, then you clearly mark the east part of the trees. Then you make the dice. Two. But Chebji Lama Sovaram use only one, so tiny one, I'm not sure. The typical is two. Then you put it there, then you do 1 month retreat or something. Like mantra, minimum mantra is required to recite is 200,000. That's the minimum, bare minimum. Could be more. You put it dice there, then you do retreat, then you probably have some kind of visions. If the retreat went well, probably you could have some kind of visions. So then you use that dice. Next time somebody comes, then you use that. If they are like, say, not sure to move, not move, to buy a house, not buy, all kinds of things can be, issue can be any all kinds of things. Then they do divination, then based on the number, then you read, then they explain what kind of things that needs to be done, like, and mainly like some kind of, how you say, puja. How you say in English? Puja. No, that's Sanskrit word. In English, how you explain puja?
Prayer service.
Yeah, prayer service. Okay, some kind of prayer service is involved. And this prayer service can be very complicated one, very easy one, very complicated one, in order to remove obstacles. So the Rinpoche always does divinations. Rinpoche only use one. Sometimes people just throw one. Sometimes people throw 3 times. So some people just do one. So then that's called divination, just for sake of knowledge. So the divination doesn't come out favor for medication, then he didn't take medication, the Western medication. What he's saying is there's nothing wrong to see therapies. Basically, he's not telling you, basically he's telling monks and nuns. He's a monk, so there's nothing to be embarrassed about going to see therapists. Because he says the therapy is kind of like wrap up all the stories from childhood to till now. They just wrap up, make it kind of easy to something they kind of package them, then tells you. Somehow it helps him great deal. So, and I said before, I'm not against therapy. So if you are having problems, it's good to see the therapy because it looks like there's some benefit. So then he went to see Tibetan physicians in Nepal. There are a lot of Tibetan physicians. It's solely based on herbal medicine, herb medicine, homeopathic or herbal medicines, no chemical. Then, you don't hear this word depressions that often in our culture. Then the physician told him it's called soklung. Soklung is like deep-seated anger. So that's like, I never thought that depression is like that. Soklung, yeah, we know soklung. You can be paranoid, you can be just paranoid. Like that also happened in the monastery. You just get like paranoid, you kind of thinking or somebody's talking, even though they are not talking about you, you think they are talking about you. So in monastery, there's no medications. What they did, so there's one monk, so his classmate, they took him to the jungle, forest, or on the mountains, just to hang out. There's nothing special to do. So I think that his Soklung, that's why he said that's Michael, that's his name. Lobsang Yishi, that's Tibetan name. He said the Tibetan physician told him that Soklung, depression is Soklung. Soklung there's probably different layers, but it's like deep-seated anger. Then if it gets worse, then you could become paranoid, like people taught people. So that monks back in the monastery, I think during the retreat, that's what happens. Like during the retreat, that he kind of developed this kind of like deep-seated, like soak. Word soak. Soak means life. Energy, they keep you alive, called soak. Lung, energy. Breathing energy. Soak lung combination, maybe energy imbalance. Energy, there's something to do, there's nothing to do with the physical body, there's something to do with inside. Some things become like imbalanced or get interrupted or something. Sok lung is like a surface, you don't see much, but it's there. And sometimes it does reflect. Once it reflects so strong that like you don't see anything in front of you, even like someone in front of you, somebody in monastery much senior than you, at that moment you don't see. You just say whatever you want to say, you just say. You don't care, are they senior or abbot, or you don't care, you just say. But it's like, looks like very much hidden, deep. So what he said, like, and of course, some of probably our friends within our circles, some of them told, why you like thinking about why you're like a child left by your parents? Why are you thinking like that? Then why don't you do this, do that? It's easy to say because you are not experiencing. So, what he's saying, this kind of conversation doesn't help. Then I'm glad that he never talked to me. I'll probably say the same thing. So I'm glad I'm not one of them. So he said, I felt like someday don't want to get up out of the bed. Soklung, so that energy, when we are born, in the center of our heart, meaning white drop from father, the red drop from the mother, so you could call now modern time eggs. Between that, the consciousness takes place. That's how the life begins. First, there's like 8 channels that develop, 8 channels from the heart. 8 channels, there are channels. So the first energy, that's called Sonzik Lung, this very subtle energy. Somehow that energy, or after that, somehow the energy get disturbed for somehow. And then that turn into deep-seated anger, I think like anger, something like that. So my point, his case, my case, different. I voluntarily left. He was dropped in the monastery. There's 2 different things, but struggle, probably he going through, I went through, pretty much. I think the Koban monastery is much better off than my monastery at that time, like late 60s, the round life. There monasteries, like I could complain again years after year, or whatever what I went through there. So, but nobody to blame rather than myself. I decided to go there. So anyway, what he said, he did, one time he did Tonglen practice. He felt something's lifted out of his body, like he felt like so light one morning. So there's someone who experiencing depressions, saying that it's not like I read in the book. It's like the person is still light out there. So, so now I'm thinking like I do know Tonglen practice. What is Tonglen practice? I do know well. And like now, how that heaviness in his heart was lifted, he feel like totally empty of that. That kind of heaviness in his heart, he feel like totally his heart become like hollow, something like that, empty one morning. Tonglen practice. So now a lot of proper discussions been needed, of course, to kind of when you literally, when you do Tonglen practice, you are like you are taking mature means has been your mother, has been. You are not saying you're my mother, has been. The giving this life has no beginning. Then like of course like probably has been that thinking. Mature deep, mental struggle, delusions, all kind of like struggle like pain, the problems that every breathing living being go through. You see them as they're like kind as you are this like mother. There has been very kind like this mother. That's what you are understanding. That understanding is needed in order to do the Tonglen practice. And there's no fear. It's just compassion. There's no fear. It's only compassion. So then you are saying that all of that happened on me. So just, you probably know Tonglen practice. Now please think. He said when he does Tonglen practice, he felt that something's lifted from his like whole life, and he feel like so light and feel like the absence of this heaviness. So the same practice that Tonglen practice, he did the same thing. Then taking all their miserable conditions out of compassion. Not fear, there's no fear, out of compassion. So then giving all your goodness out of love. So now people who experience depression, I just wondering, I'm not saying definitely, are they like, maybe it's too much focus on their self that's kind of contributing towards their depressions, or do they need to open up a little bit, they need to open up. So, so now you look at the Tonglen practice and look at this practice, how this practice, someone, monk, not only 1 year, since he was 6, younger than me, 6 till now, he probably like early, mid 40 or something like that. That person, how that this Tonglen practice helped him to feel so light, absence of that heaviness in his heart. How, like, just think about it. Look at first Tonglen practice. Okay. Other hand, there's a text Guru Puja. Guru Puja. There's text was called. This text is composed by 4th Panchen Lama, put into writing. Before him, it's only orally transmitted. There's no book to read. and he felt like it's too big loss. He put into writing. So now that. So there in that practice, the prayer service practice, or whatever you call, in that there's like sections called lamrim, stages of the path. In that small scope, middle scope, the last one is like Mayana. In there you see when this master is talking about bodhicitta, so you see there in there, Rani Chebar Zumbi Chongne, selfish, self-centric attitude is called chronic disease. You're familiar, probably some of you know chronic disease. Maybe that was lifted. I don't know, maybe that was lifted. So that's why he feels so light. That chronic disease has been healed by doing Tonglen practice, meditations. Rani Cheba Zumbi Chongne, the Midyo Dunga Chebe Jutunes. You find that, please read in English, then you can hear.
LC 91. This chronic disease of cherishing myself is the cause giving rise to my unsought suffering. Perceiving this, I seek your blessings to blame, begrudge, and destroy the monstrous demon of selfishness.
Jingye lamdolo mga Rani Cheba Zumbi Chongne, the Midyo Dunga Chebe Jutunes, Lendra Danzo Tijinjuma Chinchilos. So, you know, as we discussed, blessing is change, it's transformations. That's the blessing. It's not like there's a way to represent blessing, kissing ring, touching forehead, putting hand on somebody's head. These are just representative blessing. Actual blessing is to change, to transform. Put head here, if something change from negative to positive, you receive blessing. Nothing change, become more negative, you did not receive blessing. You did not receive blessing, but somebody touch their hand on your head, it doesn't mean nothing. So change, blessing environment, blessing food, blessing offering, trying to transform the color, the taste, the look into pure. That's environment, blessing, why transform energy into something positive. So it all boils down to mind. So maybe there's a source of all the pain is lifted, self-centered attitude, which is considered as a chronic disease. Maybe that was or lifted or challenged. Maybe challenge. It's not that easy to get rid of that. There's not easy to get rid of. Maybe challenge, or maybe shook a little bit. So that's what you're going to do today. Okay. Dong len, dong send. Send out of love. Len means take out of compassion. Dong len. Dong len yibu pema jang. Pema means alternate. Alternate. Doesn't have to be send and take. Doesn't have to be always like that. Can be like take or send. Can be alternate. Doesn't have to be one way. Always send then take. You can take, send, take. That can be alternate. That's dong len yibu pema jangs. I think like I think 7.9 text mentioned that. Dong len yibu pema jangs. Lembe korim ranetsams. Korim means sequence. Sequence about giving, taking sequence. So the taking sequence can be started within oneself. Doesn't have to be somebody else here. So but he did not pacify, doing taking part, sending part, did not pacify, but he did say Tonglen practice. And didn't say taking part is done with himself, he didn't say. So, now please all my friend, someone who has this greatly benefited from this practice and now publicly talking about. So it will be wonderful if this practice help us, our friend. So that will be wonderful. So that's the goal. The Lembe Korim Ramya sounds, sequent practice of Tonglen, so that many here taking Lembe lens taking can be started within oneself, means taking your miserable conditions, either physical, mental, out of compassions. In the end, think this chronic disease has been healed. That's the point. So today we are just taking part out of compassions. You can just do that. You don't have to do both of them. You can just do. So then you can just do that giving part too. Okay. Anything else that? Yeah. So then you meditate. We chant. You meditate. Okay. Meditate. Chant 3 times. Oh, yeah. How much time do we have?
About 20 minutes, 20, 25 minutes.
Anybody want to talk about Tonglen practice? Huh? Yeah.
Geshe-la, I think my memory is messed up, which is not surprising. But I thought one time you said about Tonglen that we could, let go, kind of create space to let go of, depression, the negativity, cause of my suffering, attachment, and allow the healing of, the, great compassion of the Buddha kind of open your heart, come into your heart. Did I mess it up? I mean, because you were talking about taking your own suffering on and then, taking that on and then, sending out loving.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
loving kindness. So do I have it messed up?
No, I don't think you have messed up.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you, because that's kind of,
We just did the taking part. We just,
okay, but that's how I've been,
yeah,
it's helped me to
usually just
open
two, taking and
and then receiving.
receiving.
But what I've done is reversed it, which is, letting go,
Yeah.
sending out the, letting go, kind of not, letting go the negativity, the story about how awful it all was, and then receiving, if that space empties a little, receiving the healing and compassion of the holy beings.
I think maybe
Buddha.
that's interesting, like point, Kandula.
Okay.
So that's an interesting point, like letting go or taking. Is that different?
Yeah, I mean, taking is taking the suffering on yourself, as opposed to kind of, grasping at our suffering as
So that-
self-centered,
That
self-cheering.
needs to be clarified. It's not taking on yourself. So
Right.
that's misunderstanding.
Okay, thank you.
So that's not good. So like, because of course then you are overwhelmed, so you don't take more. So now here, what I just said, there's prayer service called Guru Puja in that Lamrim part. That Alhamdulillah just read in English. Chronic disease. That's like sooner or later that needs to be loosened up or need to reduce or subdue. So then you are taking on that. not yourself. That makes sense. I've been saying this many times. Maybe sometime I said it many times. People still don't understand. Not, I'm not blaming you because of my English. So now see, you are the one who is doing the Tonglen practice. You are doing giving and taking practice, but you are not taking on you. Even though it sounds, even though it's worded like that, it doesn't mean like that. You are like taking out of, not out of fear, out of compassion, taking on, then piling on this chronic disease. What is called? You understand?
The chronic
Maybe
disease
you
of
say in
cherishing.
English, maybe you understand, probably you explain better. So make sure that you understand. So that's then it's like as I'm trying to explain. So like, not taking on you, taking out of compassion, then piling that on this chronic disease. Thomas, you help probably. Thomas is the one who is sending all the teachings online. Try to type. She sent every like newsletter or something like that. That sounds much better than what I said. So then she kind of called me and reads. You want to read? When I listen, it sounds much better than what I said on Sunday. So maybe, so that's why she has yeah, Thomas, you said like
Yeah.
how you said.
Yeah.
It's now, right now. Yeah.
Okay. So I kind of think of it in terms of like one of the visualizations in Vajrasattva practice is that you visualize the light is coming straight down like a laser and kind of exploding the self-cherishing that's at your heart. And since the chronic disease is self-cherishing, then we can think of it that way, that when we bring all that suffering energy in, it's like that purifying fire that kind of burns away and blows up our self-cherishing.
Yeah. Make sense? Yeah. Self-centered, it's not like, please don't misunderstand. Sometimes people don't misunderstand. Oh, taking care of myself is problem. No. Taking
Not
care
beating
of yourself.
up, Dylan. It's not beating yourself up. It's taking on with,
Yeah.
whatever will smash that self-cherishing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then, like, doesn't mean like that like, oh, now it sounds like caring yourself is a bad thing. No. That's your moral responsibility. You have to take care of yourself. But the self-cherishing is different. You here, like when you say self-cherishing, does it has negative connotations, negative meaning? Huh? Yeah, selfish. Why is negative? Why is negative? Selfish.
Why is it negative? Because you're thinking like only. Because
So someone suggests that we should get hanging mic, so then they can hear. So then we don't have to like go back and forth. Hanging mic, maybe like I'm sure it's not that. Is that difficult to get? Huh? Yeah. So then when I think that's good. Then when we chant, they can hear. Right now they only hear my voice. I don't want them to just hear only my voice because I have donkey voice. So maybe your voice is much better. I want them to hear all the voice. So right now they're only hearing my voice. If you put some mic there, so maybe 2 or 3, so then when we chant, they can hear. I think it's good to know. So then,
so self-cherishing is me, above everyone else. That's self-cherishing. That's why it's negative, because we're only thinking about me. I could care less about what's going on with you.
okay, that's what it means. Care less about what's
Care
going on in your
less,
life.
Because I'm so focused on me. That's self-cherishing.
So that everybody in the West understand that it's negative.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That really hit me when
Then,
I
like, what we should do? Yeah, what we should do, Pastor Mike, what we should do? How we should tackle that? Like, what kind of like, is there any practice or like mental exercise that can help?
I have a question, and then I have
Okay.
the comment first. So to cherish oneself when I hear it, because it's very subjective. I hear it one way, and Andre, you hear it your way, and we all hear things differently. But I think that to be so self-absorbed to the point where you can't, your bandwidth, you don't have the bandwidth to take on anything else but carry your burden. And I think that that is a little different in that you're so weighed down with, I like that, deep-seated anger, I do, that you can't see anything else. It paints everything in your world that way. But to care for oneself is essential, in my belief, in order to get out of that. But it also is, there's a lack of connection to other that makes it sick. You can't participate in relationships because it's bogged down. But the question I have is that what I've understood about Tonglen, which is not very much, so is that, and then I used to get hung up about it, is to take on the heaviness and the hardness of the world and to focus on it and then send it out with compassion, like almost act like a purifying filter. I guess that part of taking all that in frightens me because it's to take in negative energy and it can affect you to hold that and to think about that. And I guess the question is do I visualize something different? Like it's
So now that's
a
like,
bubble of smoke, and then I just get,
so, yeah, I understand. Like, I understand now that, like, one second, hold the mic. So taking part, you should do it from yourself, not for others. So that's, even in the text, they know sometimes people, they overwhelm, they can't take anymore. So they know exactly there are people out there who feel like they have tons of in their plate, so they can't take anymore. So then you do taking out of compassion, taking from your side, your pain, your like shame, your guilt, your anger. You take that out first. Don't worry about taking from other people. You just practice that. Take that out of compassion. To take that out of compassion, again, give to yourself respect, love, care. So you do that first. The critical point here, love and compassion, nothing else. Motivation has to be love and compassion. Cannot be fear, anger, not good. Love and compassion. First you do, taking part, you do it from yourself. Just forget about taking from other people's. Just make sense? Yeah, so even the text, it mentioned like that. Okay, it makes sense? Oh yeah, Dr. Brown, yeah.
So one of the two things. One is I had heard that in terms of therapy, Geshe-la, that it didn't matter what kind of therapy, and again, I can probably find the source for this, but there's so many different kinds of therapy out there, but I've read that no matter what type of therapy, technique that was used by the therapist, if the therapist was perceived as compassionate, the patients got better. So that's kind of interesting. And I think that's probably a lot of truth to that. The other thing about Tonglen, I mean, this is just my experience a little bit, not much. But, you know, I mean, usually when I do it, I try to start with myself. And I imagine, you know, I give myself, you know, I imagine white light, go out, and I'm giving myself happiness and the causes of happiness, which is love, right? Then I imagine my suffering, future suffering particularly, as black smoke and something negative, and I take that into my heart in the form of black smoke or light, and that destroys the self-cherishing I. This self-cherishing, self-grasping, egocentric. Lama Yeshe used to say it's like our heart is encased in this black granite mountain, and when we take on this suffering, it completely destroys the self-cherishing I. So there is a moment of like letting go, because we let go of all of that negativity that revolves around this selfish, self-cherishing I, and we imagine the body filled with light, and then again we go back, giving love, which is happiness and causes, and taking on suffering, which is compassion. But then to branch out, and then I do it with my kids, and I do it with my family, and my, people that I know. I imagine, I think that's whole part of it too, is it doesn't, Tong Lin practicing the full breadth of it, as I understand it, we could take on all the suffering of the beings in the hell realms, in the animal realm, and the hungry, all the beings in samsara. We can take on their suffering to destroy our self-cherishing, and then send them out, love and compassion. I don't see I think that that's quite powerful way to develop compassion and loving kindness.
Yeah, very good.
Does that sound right?
Of course, always you sound right, because you found the Kadampa Center, of course.
Yeah. Thank you, Geshe-la. I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, so I think that that's very good, like, that's called destroying selfish. That, selfish, kind of selfish that we are talking about, you care less about what's going in your life, your happiness. You care less. You only care about yourself. That kind of selfish sounds like everybody knows this is negative. And according to Mayan Buddhists, that is the one causing all the sufferings. So it may be time to analyze. You don't need to believe. You don't need to believe. So they said like that. Is that true? Analyze. Make more enemies, less people like you because you are very selfish. Is that the reason? Yes, time to change. It's not good. You can't go like that, and meanwhile hoping to have more friends, not changing thinking. There's no change in thinking. People don't want to be friends because you are very selfish. You only think about yourself. You don't care about my happiness. You don't care about what I like. You only care about what you like. You can't go on like this and hoping you'll be happier with that kind of mindset. Then according to Mayan teaching, they says you are sick because you have this disease, chronic disease. You may not realize, but deep down you are not healthy. You need to heal that. So, Tonglen, taking part, you can do it from yourself. You don't need to do. When you become good at that, then you can slowly transform. But the point is, increase the power of compassion, love, and basically destroying the source of suffering. That's what it is. It's like someone says, like atom bomb, so that destroy the source of unhappiness. Is that true? Each time when you are not happy, so then just analyze and see maybe it's caused by bodhicitta, compassion, loving kindness. It's caused by so much thinking about myself. So any problem that related to the mind has to solve through mind. Meaning, need to think. Like anger is so strong. Think, and think. Slowly, anger will be subdued. Attachment is like it's intensifying like fire. Slowly think. It kind of subdue. Not right away, it will subdue. It will definitely subdue. So that is why the meditation becomes handy. Meditation simply means thinking, nothing more, nothing less. It's just thinking. That's all. It's just thinking. Precisely calculating outcome. Precisely calculating the outcome, taking your time, and then like implementing. So whatever you learn. So meditation is no different than thinking. So then think, slowly, take times, but it's get better and better and better.
Thank you so much for your teachings, guys.
No.
Self-cherishing, this for me has a positive connotation because of the word cherish. Like when we cherish something, it's because we treasure that thing or object or person. So it's like I like myself, so I cherish myself. I guess that what is meant is more a exaggerated version of yourself, an exaggerated view of yourself. And I used to suffer from depression when I was a young person, and I do think that it's a chronic disease because of an exaggerated version of yourself. But you see yourself in an exaggerated negative manner. So when people are sad because they cannot change the world, they are not sad because the world is complicated, but they are sad because they want to change it, and they see that they cannot, and then they are disappointed of themselves because they have this idea that they should be able to change it, but they cannot, and then they get very sad because of that. And over time, I think that accumulates. It's the same thing when they go to school and they have, for example, exams, and they cannot pass the exams, so they have this vision of themselves that they have to be really good at math, but they are not. And then they, over time, get sad because reality is they are not good at math, but they want to be good at math. And there's this dissonance between what they expect from themselves and what reality is. And I think it's a distorted vision of reality. It's a distorted vision of oneself. And I think that what I'm understanding is that that practice tries to reconcile how we see ourselves with reality so that we don't have this, out of proportion expectations of what we can do and cannot do.
Very interesting, yeah, very good point, like exaggerated self. There's the exaggerated self. Yeah, so that is like, now that leads back to the meditation on shunyata, to tackle exaggerated self. Yeah, probably lack of knowledge, then people have this kind of thinking that that you can fix the world. So when you think from the karma point of view, it's kind of complicated. It's not that easy to fix. It's kind of complicated. No, it's complicated enough in this one life, what's going on. Then when you look at other life, it's complicated. So there's fixing and like yeah. So it'll be wonderful if we can fix everything. That'll be wonderful. So, but that is more likely, unfortunately, not going to happen. So that need to face the reality. Why is that complicated? It's complicated. Action, individual actions, collective actions, complicated. Those action is not purely driven by compassion, love. And therefore it's complicated. Therefore the world is not exactly as we wish for. Because this like action is like wave, wild wave, and we're trying to survive. It's not just one wave, just like waves come from each person. It's not calm wave, it's a wild wave. Then you're simply trying to survive. It's not that easy. Therefore, a lot of thinking is needed, to survive in this wild wave, up, down, east, west, south, north, every direction. There's no, you can skip. That's all over. So, a lot of thinking. Compassion, loving kindness is very much needed because of this wave, the wave that comes from people, the wild wave that comes from people. So this is hard. They're saying in Tibetan, if you don't make yourself happy, other people make your life miserable. They're saying in Tibetan, keep on hanging majana, now understand. So, yeah. So, on this, yeah.
Be very fast. Yeah, I just want to say that, because I think when the Dharma talks about self-cherishing in the way that it does, it's not saying that we shouldn't cherish ourselves or love ourselves. The problem is that we love ourselves, we cherish ourselves above everyone else and everything else. Of course, we should cherish ourselves
Yeah,
and
so
love ourselves. Of course,
maybe that's how you should change, loving yourself above everything else. So that is the source of all the sufferings. Maybe don't call self-cherishing. Don't call self-cherishing. Maybe like don't call self-cherishing. Maybe call that loving yourself above anything else. Maybe a new term invented by Andrea. Now the alum is not happy, so I'm talking too much. Maybe time to stop. Yeah, that's good. Please don't forget cherishing yourself above everything. But then, Linda, please need to write it down, and then, yeah. So next time it helps. So not you, it helps me.
Okay, if you're in the Gampa, please turn to page 246 in the Gold Prayer Book. May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings of body and mind, obtain a notion of happiness and joy by virtue of our merits. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled with a mind weighed down by depression. May the blind see forms and the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding repose. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness, and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may these never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid, and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think of benefiting each other. For as long as space remains, for as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. And now on page 244, the long life prayer for His Holiness the Dalai Lama. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All-powerful Chenrezig Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. And on the next page, the long life prayer for Khensa Rinpoche Jetsun Lobsang Delik, the one who mastered his speech at a very young age, the one with great patience who received the name Omatare, the one with great precision who spread the teachings of Lama Tsongkhapa on bliss and void, Lama, ornament of the yellow hat tradition, please remain until samsara ends. And now on the inside back cover, the prayer for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Peerless teacher and assembly of the children of the victorious ones, Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas, victorious Losang father and sons, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of the infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now. Holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings through explanation and practice, you wore the armor of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable, venerable Guru, to you I make requests. While striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and from other living beings, you suddenly departed to peace. What a great loss. Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels and the great waves of bodhicitta of the children of the victorious ones, may the smile of a reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortunate disciples. And now inside the front cover, the prayer for the long life of Geshe Gelik. Supreme Guide, you lead us on the many paths of virtue. A shining sun, you give us the best of excellent explanations. Supreme virtuous friend, you are a constant Dharma companion. Lama who has renounced fame, may you ever remain. And for Geshe Sangpo, you who have steadfast imprints of virtuous qualities and keep the instructions of the glorious Guru in your heart. You who pass day and night with noble activities, great virtuous friend, may you have a very long life. And 7 green Tara mantras to benefit all beings. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. 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 Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha.
Geshe-la, sorry, it's Linda.
Oh,
When
yeah.
you, since there's a potluck, do you mind doing a quick blessing of the food?
Yeah. The Malamedan, the Malamedan, the Malamedan. Shazia Rojan, the Mayu, Malaja, the Ninja, Kazamandan, the Wariba, and the Jajanam, and the Jajamalani, Majamala, Sashi Mala. Bon appetit. Oh, yeah.
Thanks, everyone online. Thank you.
Thank you. Gracias, Ale.
Bye.
Gracias.